All right, I think we're gonna get maybe one more. They'll show up in just a minute, but we can get started. And I see undead blocks in there lurking. I don't know if it's Kyle or someone else, but if you do get a chance to come speak, would love to have you on. Anyway, the stage is already packed, and we're a couple of minutes behind, so we may as well get started. Thanks for joining. Yet another Twitter space from Earn Alliance. I love doing these. I love having Coop up here, but even better than Coop, believe it or not, are our guests. So we'll take a moment.
What?
We'll take a moment to introduce each of them. Um, we are doing a New Year's campaign. It just so happens that we're launching this campaign over the Lunar New Year. Um, but for each of our partners, we're going to be doing a badge mint. What does that mean? We'll tell you in a little bit. For any of you who were part of the Christmas campaign, we partnered up with a whole bunch of different Web3 games and we built out some badges. And these badges are ones that you, as listeners, can mint. We only give you 24 hours per partner. And over Christmas, we saw over 25,000 people on each day minting one of these badges and heading on over and checking out what our partner games had to offer. So we're doing another one, the New Year's campaign, and we're going to talk about it today. So we've had classic Twitter space rugging to start the session. So we'll probably have a few people just trickling in. We're just distributing that Twitter space link around now. But for those of you who haven't been to one of our Twitter spaces yet, it's always exciting. The number of times we have technical issues, always new challenges. Love it. Um, if you haven't met me, my name's Rip XG. Coop is always with me on these Twitter spaces, the founder of Earn Alliance. Um, and we just love games and we love Web3. And we're at the crossover of those two worlds. Earn Alliance, well, we've been doing a whole bunch of different things, but mainly we're just looking out for the gamers in this space. Whether you're new to Web3, you are crypto hardened through, well, what we've seen with FTX the whole of last year. Some of you might even have been around as far as Mount Gox. I know I'm one of those old men. Um, I'm still around. So you'll definitely see me all the way through whatever we're going through. Um, but you've heard enough of this old man rambling. How about we go and get some intros from some of our game partners? I'm just going to start here with League of Kingdoms. Who have we got on there behind the speaker?
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, new lunar New Year event, and I'm very excited to be here. My name is Jay. I am the community lead of League of Kingdoms, and happy to be here.
So, g'day, Jay. Good to see you. We didn't get Paul in the end. More technical issues. I saw his phone died today. Perfect timing. Good to have you on, Jay. And yeah, looking forward to talking about League of Kingdoms. Metabird's team. Is that who's there behind the mic? Embezzle? Embezzling that mic? We'll give him a minute to figure out that microphone while we move on to Cypher. Is that Drac behind that mic?
Yo, Rep. Yeah, this is Rock from Cypher, the community lead, and really excited. Happy New Year to everyone. Let's get this started.
Love it. Good to have you back onto this space. And you had I wouldn't say technical issue last time, but you had some challenges for sure. Hopefully, you're feeling way better than last time. Good to have you on. Is that Metabirds? Figured out the mic?
Yeah, I'm really silly. I just didn't unmute it on my phone.
Too bad we can't see your face, so we're like,
So,
All good.
unmute your mic.
right, classic. But yeah, my name's Matthew. I'm Embezzle is my old middle school COD gamer tag that I've used all these years just because I have too many things attached to it. But I like it. It's my online gaming persona.
Good to have you, Matthew, and I feel you on that. Embezzle, it probably just holds too many memories, as does Rip for me.
Fair, fair.
Who undead blocks? Is it Kyle? Drum roll, please.
Yes, this is Kyle. I am the Director of Business Development, and I am the Director of Partnerships here at Wagyu Games, which we have developed Undead Blocks. Appreciate everybody having us up here.
Good to have you, man. And I don't know whether to be glad or sad that I can't see that insanely distracting video background of yours. uh,
I just wait till we get videos up on here. I'll pull it up for you.
for sure, you'll be the first one. Everyone will be staring at that crazy background of yours with the Undead Blocks gameplay. Just gotta say, we have just a crazy lineup of partners here. Last remains, I think Coop, you'll be a good representative if you don't mind. Just saying a quick hi.
Yep. So Last Remains is the game that we're publishing here at Earn Alliance. Yeah, excited we just did our first whitelist today. Sold out in about 20 minutes for our first 500. We're doing more this week. And just enjoying bringing, yet another zombie game right next door to Undead Blocks. Undead Blocks would be more of a shooter, and us is more on the stealth side.
I'm terrible at stealth, so don't blame me if I end up playing more Undead Blocks. um, I might like what we were going to do is get our partners just to do a very quick intro. The you know if you met someone who you knew was an awesome gamer, and believe me, there are many awesome gamers in this audience. What would you tell them about your game? Assuming they haven't heard of it before, right? Undead Blocks team, Kyle, like if you had to tell someone what Undead Blocks is and what would what kind of gamer would love the game, what would you say? Let's try to get everyone to do a quick intro of their game. Try to keep it to like a minute tops each. We're just a little bit behind, but I do want everyone to find out more about each of your games. Shall we start with Undead Blocks?
Yeah, Undead Blocks here is a first-person zombie survival-based shooting game that if you haven't played, we are 100% live with our beta. We just dropped our multiplayer beta duos. That is what most everybody's been playing right now, but we most definitely have our 3 other game modes. We have been live since the first weekend in June with our beta. So that most definitely has been playable for everybody on Earth because all you need is an email and password to go in and sign up and verify that you're not a bot. That's all we really ask for you to actually go into the game and start playing. Of course, if you want to come in and start earning daily when that goes live on February 28th, we do have 3 different NFT collections, our Genesis, our Apocalypse, and our Loot Coffins. You can most definitely check those out. We dropped the first 2, our Genesis and Apocalypse, on the Ethereum blockchain. Our last one of our Loot Coffins is being dropped with Immutable X on the GameStop NFT platform. Right now, we're continuing to build out for more levels, more maps, more things like that. That's going to make the game more fun. We have had tournament structures since the first weekend in July, giving away $175,000 of sponsored money to participants that come out and compete. 15 of 17 of those tournaments were 100% free to enter. Again, just needing an email, password, and to verify that you're a bot. We have had 2 of those tournaments that is token gated just for NFT holders. We're going to continue that structure into 2023, having both of those tournaments. Some of those are all of those have been online, but we also are doing in-person live event tournaments. We've done one of those at Nashville, Tennessee, back just right before Thanksgiving in November. We're going to continue to do that at all the places that we've been invited to. This year, they're going to try to do some at ETH Denver, at Consensus, at NFT NYC, NFTLA, all the big conferences, and then also continuing out our gaming tour ourselves with some of our other partners. So we're trying to hit anybody that wants a game that is fun. Of course, first-person shooters is what we do best. That's what this game is. So we're trying to hit that kind of genre of people, of course. Biggest thing, though, is that we want people to come into the space and play our game, play our partners' games, give feedback, negative or positive. Tell us what we can do to make it better. Tell us what you didn't like, what you did like. That's the biggest thing. We're just trying to build out this space not only for ourselves, but for our partners and everybody that wants to come in and build something really cool in the gaming, in the entertainment sector. I believe that gaming, music, and movies will be some of the top sectors here in blockchain as we build them out. So we're just trying to do something really fun, really cool, get everybody involved, and get them to come out and compete and have fun with their friends.
Wow, how do you even get time to play your own game with all that happening? Insane. Um, that was that was incredible. Have you ever regularly made those statements in the past? It's as if it just rolled off your tongue. Um, thank you for that,
Yeah,
Matt.
100%. Been here a long time.
Awesome. Thank you, Carl. Cypher Drac, you're up next. You've just bumped into this gamer crazy, just wants to find the next great game. What do you tell them about Cypher?
All right, so I'm gonna keep it real simple, but then it might sound a bit weird as it comes out of my mouth. So keep in mind that I'm pitching this game to a friend and not the whole community as of now. So we all know that we could be a little furry time to time. So if you want to play as a cat, a dog, a bull, in going into dungeons, raiding dungeons, building on the economy, exploring new worlds, going into much detailed lore, which also is backed up with the comics, upcoming sculptures, merch, and everything. This game is for you. And Cypher is one of the biggest game development in blockchain industry as of now. And I'd say we just see where it goes. We are just trying to make a game which is more fun to play rather than focusing on other stuff. So yeah, that's Cypher for us.
It's yeah, super unique. The third person aspect, real time shooter, fixed aspect too. Pretty much unique. Awesome. Thank you, Drac. Embezzle, Metabirds, you ready? You've just bumped into someone who's a crazed gamer and wants to figure out what Metabirds is about.
Yeah, I mean, in the simplest sense of the word, Netabirds is literally Flappy Bird meets Mario Kart. I think everybody has played and understands Flappy Bird if you were into mobile gaming in the last 10 years. It's very casual, it's very easy to play, it's very addicting. We wanted to break out into the casual mobile gaming world, and we knew that was a game that had been popular, that may have been overdone, but if we could add a new twist to it, and especially bring it into the Web3 space, we could really bring that back to a lot of people who maybe don't understand all the idiosyncrasies of how to set up a wallet and all that jazz, but still want to be able to play and, earn rewards, have fun with a game at the end of the day, and be involved in the Web3 space. We're currently only in beta. We're hoping to go full alpha come May 2023, but if it comes sooner, that'll be great. We just got some venture capital to help boost up our development work. We're pretty much literally rebuilding the game from the ground up because we weren't satisfied with the user experience that we had before, and we didn't feel it was friendly and fun enough to all types of players. So right now we're just doing a lot of groundwork to really bolster ourselves up to where we want to be because we're all gamers and we want it to be fun to play first and foremost, and then everything else we want to add later down the line, like play to earn. Um, we want to add in a battle royale mode, which will literally in the few things I've seen, it's just crazy to see like 100 people racing on screen. But you can play it on our browser right now, and it's in test flight on Apple, but we haven't got it to Android yet. So you really you can play the game right now, but it's definitely just in beta. But yeah, it's basically essentially Mario Kart meets Flappy Bird is the best way to describe it because I feel most everyone has played at least one of those games and can get a good idea of what it is.
Love that. The Flappy Bird is an unmistakable icon of gaming. I remember that month that it came out, and everybody was just playing it. I mean, everyone's eyes looked like the bird's eyes, just glued to their screen, tapping
Oh
over and
yeah.
over. Very interested to hear more. Um, League of Kingdoms, you ready? You've just bumped into someone. They want to know what League of Kingdoms is all about.
All right. Um, so League of Kingdoms is a free-to-play MMO strategy game, just like similar to Game of War or Rise of Kingdoms. Our game has launched in 2020 and has been live for about 2.5 years now. This game starts with basically growing a kingdom and building kingdoms, researching the technologies and building troops, and going out to the world to fight monsters, collect resources, and compete against the other players. So the social interaction part is one of the most interesting part of League of Kingdoms. A lot of our gameplay is centered around the alliance system, and ultimately you're gonna be fight for the crown of the continent to become a king, and at the end you are actually gonna compete against other continents in the great big battle called continent versus continent. It is a bit of a complicated game and have some initial hurdle, but as you progress forward and meet a new good peoples in the alliances or in the community, our game be very attaching to you in terms of social and also in terms of the gameplay. Recently, we are looking into a big launch of the play and earn contents called Drago NFT. The Drago NFT is a dragon-like creature which can defend your kingdoms and also accompany your troops to fight the enemies. And the Drago itself is inside our game, but we are going to launch a um, big content with the utility tokens so that the players who want to earn and farm some DST and DSA, which is a utility token of our game. They can wait for the coming big update. Yeah, and I just want to add that there's in this working in the Web3 gaming space, it's always good to see a lot of possibilities, a lot of innovative attempts, and it is just excited to be a part of this ever-growing gaming space. Thank you.
Sweet, thank you, Jay. Some pretty good gameplay up on that tweet there. And last but not least, Coop, would you give us a rundown of Last Remains? You got 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. So it's a cross between, I would say, like Assassin's Creed and Battle Royale, like PUBG. So what that really means is it's a stealth game in a PUBG open world. So how that goes is that well, you can't really run around and shoot the zombies because you're just gonna attract all the zombies around you and be taken out. They're extremely difficult and hard to take down. So you really got to sneak up behind them and take them out one by one, unless you find that katana and you can kind of have fun with them. The goal is to go in and you'll get tips to where the helicopter is going to come and rescue. There's three spots on the helicopter as you're playing against 30 to 50 people on the map. And as you're kind of figuring out how to survive, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're taking out these zombies, but you're also finding NFT skins. And whatever you do find and get onto that helicopter and get taken out, you will be able to bring to the blockchain. I would say if there's one thing you would, take away from Last Remains is that we're dedicating 50% of all of our revenue into esports rewards. So yeah, definitely looking to build and have fun and make it super competitive for the community.
Yeah, super keen to see some of that gameplay hit the public airwaves too. Um, well, seems like we got too many games we need to try out. If only there was a platform that highlighted which games people love the most. Well, we'll have that very, very soon. Thank you. Yeah, to each of you for working with us on this New Year's campaign. For those of you who are just joining us, we are doing a um, uh, promotional campaign for each of these partners next week. Well, from the 22nd until the 28th of January, each day you'll be able to mint one of our partner badges. And that partner badge will give you access to the rewards that our partners have committed to the prize pool of over 10,000 US dollars worth of prizes. And they're all going to be given away to people who mint these badges next week. So simply by being in this Twitter space, you heard it here first. Or if you were super early, you would have read it on our blog post that just went out yesterday. So again, thank you to the partners for doing this with us. All right. So we also ask, like, what is the major difference, or what are some of the major differences between Web3 games and Web2 games? How are we seeing some differences? Well, the number one biggest difference is in community. Just this Twitter space alone is a testament to that. When have you seen, a whole bunch of games just work together on a campaign, pull in each other's communities, get crossover, just because we know that the strongest gamers are sitting across each of our groups, have so much happening on the bleeding edge of technology. It's insane. And just looking at the games that we've got up on the stage here, it's such a wide variety, and we're reaching all corners of the earth really with our different audiences. So that's probably the biggest thing for me. Right. We also wanted to put in some rewards for people who have been actively engaged. They've been asking some questions. These questions come from the community. I'm going to pick out a few, and these questions, I'm going to put you on the spot, Coop, to answer these ones, because most likely they'll be questions about Earn Alliance, right? They probably come from each of our partner communities going, what is this? What are these partner badges? What is the overall goal for Earn Alliance? So let's try and get some of those questions answered. So if I call out your name, we're giving you 10 US dollars for putting out a great question. The first one is to the Lucky. His tag happens to be Lucky MCM1. His questions: what can we anticipate in Web3 gaming in terms of new features, tools, capabilities? This is a great segue off what I just mentioned. And what do you think will be the biggest change in the Web3 gaming landscape over the next 5 years? Ooh, can you tell the future, Coop?
Jeez, that is a lot of pressure. I think Web3 gaming in the next 5 years is going to be exploring a lot of free-to-play mechanics. It's very similar to like what Undead Blocks was saying, is that a portion of the community is able to compete for esports rewards to get a taste of what it is like to play Undead Blocks. And I think a lot of games are going to be exploring traditional free-to-play mechanics on how to bring, traditional, I guess, quote unquote gamers of today and adopt these wallets, adopt these more crypto native ways of exploring. And there's so many different ways to do different things. Like we're exploring battle passes on chain. So where you can have all these different types of NFTs or rewards that are both sponsored from third parties or sponsored from the game, to guarantee the reward pool that's getting pumped out to the people who do these battle passes. And these battle passes are generating NFTs. So very traditional battle passes like Fortnite, or like Teamfight Tactics, where you get rewards as you play. There might be all kinds of interesting innovations like that, which I'm just talking out loud. There's just so much you can imagine that we're going to explore. But as I said, I think the key is we're going to be bringing on people from the traditional Web2 space and exploring how we can kind of transition that to Web3.
Tough question to answer on the spot, but yeah, well handled. Would recommend reading ahead, Coop. Though there's a Google Doc. I'll paste some upcoming questions. You got an extra 10 seconds now to think ahead. This next one comes from
All right.
Web3 Wall Dixon. Non-crypto users are very important for mainstream adoption. How are you planning to attract non-crypto users towards Earn Alliance and our partners? Is there any upcoming partnership that would bring non-crypto users and other use cases? What's the long-term plan?
Yeah, I think the first thing is being able to take accounts and social accounts and kind of have transparent wallets underneath the hood. Somebody said, I can't quote them exactly, is the moment that we have wallets built into our phones through like Apple Wallet, where it's just like a credit card, but for Apple Pay, but it's an actual wallet. And when it becomes that easy and that native, that's where the mass adoption will finally begin for Web3 gaming and just for Web3 in general. So I think it starts off with just making the seamless experience of, let's introduce social accounts, logins, and seamlessly have, if it's either centralized or decentralized wallets underneath the hood, but they're all based on accounts. So one of those partners is um, ZK Sync, which is going mainnet in the next few weeks. And one of their major features that they've been pushing is actual social accounts that are connected to wallets. We're also talking to a couple partners like Super Cool, which makes it really easy to just put in your email, put in your credit card, and mint something. And underneath the hood, they give you a wallet. So at the end of the day, the user doesn't have to worry about gas fees. The user doesn't have to worry about transferring things in order to utilize that wallet and be able to actually utilize the utility of that NFT. And I think that's going to be a great first step to adopt, traditional people from outside the Web3 space to come and start experimenting what it's like to interact in our space. And then after they fall in love, then they start looking at, okay, maybe I need to go to MetaMask, maybe I need to have a cold wallet, and they kind of go down the rabbit hole after they taste what we have to offer. So those are some examples that I see coming in the next year.
Sweet, mind blowing. The last question here comes from Junai DJR3434. Super easy to remember. What are your target markets? How many communities do you currently engage in? Can you tell us if you have any plans to boost adoption globally? I'm guessing that means in pockets of geographies or particular communities, or if these projects are intended only for certain countries. Either way, how will you reach the largest number of users you want to reach?
I'm going to go ahead and throw something a little controversy out there is I think if we want to reach the most amount of users globally, and let's just say our target is global, it's just going to be mobile. You have to be mobile because it's where everybody's at. A majority of the world is on it. And people are starting to complain about that 30% fee that became very clear for NFTs from Apple. For me, I look at that as a very heavy fee to essentially acquire a user on the Web3. But after they come in the Web3 and they start exploring further and we start, kind of giving them the rabbit hole, as I've been kind of explaining, then they might go on and discover marketplaces and discover other platforms other than, the App Store and start spending and start interacting there. So it might be a heavy cost for us in Web3 today at the beginning to acquire mobile users through the app stores. But in the long run, once they're adopted, we will have ways to essentially cross promote effectively. Of course, read the privacy agreements. You can't literally cross promote, but I think that global and mobile is strategy number one. In terms of strategy number, like, let's just say you don't want to go for mass adoption. Usually you need to do product market fit and start, testing a game in a small area. So usually when you create a game, you target just a couple countries and you start looking at the data to see how your retention's doing, how the game's doing. I would say that, at least personally for me, I'm excited to continue to engage where Web3 gaming was born. So these are, the Philippines, Vietnam, Brazil, Spain. So there's all kinds of awesome, countries that have essentially experienced Web3 and are already native to using wallets and native to playing these games. I want to continue to play with that community first, just because I feel like we're all excited and we want to see, an AK, we're like anticipating what's going to happen. and I would like to continue to kind of feel that anticipation to see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah, gonna have to get the crystal ball out for this one, but do love the mobile call out. I see where you're coming from. Controversial Last Remains is for PC, so how are we going to capture that mobile audience? Rhetorical question. All right. Okay, 37 minutes in. We do want to make sure we get to the most exciting part of the night, which is where we just open it up. The topic is about gaming influences. The more and more we're in this space, we know how important it is for people to discover games. They find streamers or personalities that they like, and you know find ones that they like or they trust, and well, consume their content. That is, they watch their videos. The people that they like might introduce them to a game, and they might play that game, right? As long as they share like the same kind of tastes as their favorite streamer. So this next part, I'm going to open it up to all of us here, all of our guests here to try and answer. And I will do my best to try and juggle highlighting each of your your Twitter profiles, pinned tweets, or whatever else I can find on your profile while you're speaking. So you do have a bit of an incentive to give a good answer. But I will ring the proverbial buzzer if you're going way over time. So, my question is gaming influences, whether they're Web3 gaming or not even Web3, just, gaming influences in the Web2 space, are they going to be key in Web3? And just by extension of that, who are your favorite influences? Anyone feel free to jump out here.
Yeah, I can say something. Um, I I shouldn't. No, you don't know. I shouldn't say that. I will say, I'm a big fan of how there's a lot of conventional games that are, just been in the regular, whether it's the trading card community, the console community, the PC community, that people have gone, hey, we already know this is a successful franchise or successful game style to play. Why isn't anybody integrating it on the blockchain? Um, I literally when I first discovered Undead Blocks, I was like, oh, cool. This is literally like this reminded me of Call of Duty Zombies, and I was like, and it's on the blockchain, and your weapon packs are NFTs. I was like, this makes total sense, but I never had thought of it in that sense. So I thought that was really cool when I first saw it. Same with Gods Unchained. I was like, oh, this is Magic the Gathering, and you own your cards, but all your cards are NFTs. And I was like, it's interesting to see how they're not like terribly complicated ideas. It's you're taking what's already a well adapted, well mainstream, fun to play, people want to play game, and you take the little things you need to really be like, how do we adapt this to the blockchain? How do we get it more integrated into Web3 gaming where you own all your assets in game, which realistically most people, myself included, will play games for hours at a time and own nothing but the game. Or if you're playing on Game Pass or something like that, you don't even really own the game, but you're just happy to get the entertainment out of it. So I think there's influences like that from the modern gaming sector that are bleeding over into this new Web3 gaming sector. Um, I will say I still think the big companies like Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft are kind of lagging behind, and they have these opportunities to really get into these sectors, and maybe they're doing it behind the scenes and we just don't know it yet. But for me, it's more so that idea of like a franchise or a game type or a community that's already well established in conventional gaming. People are taking it and now bringing it into this new community style of gaming. I don't know if that really answered the question at the end of the day, but that's my thought on it, and I really think that's a really cool, unique thing to see.
Big brain answer and Bezel. Anyone else respond to that or even have their own thoughts on gaming
I think that they're
influence?
exactly right. A lot of people sitting around waiting to see what happens. Apple and Google's already here. We're going to be on their stores. It's going to be Q2, first of Q2. They're just sitting around waiting to see where they want to throw their funds at, just like MasterCard, just like Visa, just like a lot of these other people, Fidelity, BlackRock, all these people are looking at avenues to jump in. Uh, I think that the influencers will come in a little bit more as those come in. I think that we do have some great influencers that's already here. Uh, there's a bunch, except for the Gamers Choice Awards that you can go vote for and stuff. There's a bunch of great games, except for those awards as well. That's going to be launched the end of this month, the 31st in Miami. I think that a lot of that's all going to continue to be built out. I know that we do have some people that were complaining, like earlier, about the 30%, but sometimes you got to pay to play. And I think that that's part of it. I think that they're just wanting to see how the space actually goes. I think that in time, when we get enough people in here, that those percentages can most definitely go down, or we can use those percentages to get royalties to our community or something like that, a payment structure to where we could fund tournaments. There's all kinds of things that we can do when you look at it monetarily. Biggest thing is getting it out to the people, making it fun, making it free, making it as frictionless as possible. That's what we believe over here at Wagyu at first. I think that all the spectacular bonanzas and everything that will come with Google, Apple, everything that's exploding. You see AWS coming in with Avalanche. I actually have a lot of alpha on that I can't say here, unfortunately, because I know the team that's actually working and building with Amazon personally. I've been in crypto since 2013, so I try to stay in every avenue that's possible, and I have people that try to keep me informed on the avenues that I can't stay up on. So I know that a lot of big influencers are looking, that are in TikTok, that are on Instagram, that have millions of followers, that are trying to come into this space. They just don't really know how. They're reaching out to some of the gaming influencers to get a little bit of their opinion on it, while also reaching out to, I guess you would say, just blockchain influencers in general, the people that run like mega spaces and things like that. I've noticed that a lot of these people are starting to reach out with them to get their product just kind of announced a little bit out. There's some larger spaces I know that is taking a little bit of funds from some of these companies that is coming in from Web 2 that's promoting them and sponsoring them to just say it out every once in a while, or let people know that, hey, there might be somebody coming into the SpaceX building from this or from that, or you might see somebody that's leaving this company like we did at Blizzard and goes to Yuga Labs. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see a lot of the tech sectors, people that get laid off, things like that, I believe, roll into this space and find amazing jobs here and continue to build out amazing things here in blockchain. I think that as we roll out, it will all come together. And at the same time, we'll still have those that shouldn't be here, such as criminals, Sam Bankman-Fried, things like that. That's why I also try to tell people we gotta have those people here so we can let people know that you have to make sure that you secure yourself. Those people are on every avenue that there's a dollar to be made. So I think that the good influencers coming in and the bad influencers getting pushed out will also happen as well. And I think that it'll be great for the space. It will take some time. I know over the next 5 years, there's going to be a lot to be built. Like, I don't even know if our minds can grasp everything. I mean, you think about Animoca dropping 2 billion, what Polygon's doing, what Avalanche is doing, what some other big names are doing and bringing funds into the space. Shit, in a year, it's going to be insane. So in 5 years, it's very hard to imagine, and your mind grasp all of that.
Yeah, mind-boggling. Just plug me into the matrix.
Most definitely. Red pill or
Yeah.
blue?
Red pill. I'm going first. Um, who else has a view on influencers? Do you have a favorite influencer of your own? I've just got an example pinned up there. For example, Undead Blocks and the Professor doing a bit of a 1-2 there. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can jump in real.
All right,
Uh,
go first.
Sorry to cut you off. I can jump in real quick here. Well, as gamer, to start off this conversation, I think when I play a game, any game online, let's say if it's Valorant, for example, when I play that game and I go back home and I sit and I want to rest down, relax, and then have something to eat, that is when I go to YouTube, see casual videos of people playing the game, so that it's a little bit more interesting and entertaining to me. So gaming influencers, I think they play a major role in getting the game out there to the community and building a game. So, for example, if you happen to like a genre of a specific game, and if you see a wider audience of that game being discussed, then you'd probably go there. God of War forums, Age of Empires forums, all of these forums, Reddit channels, and everything. I think these communities are what bring us together, and then gaming influencers do quite a very good job at bringing these communities together. So in Web3, there are we don't really get influencers getting the game together or getting the community together because, as Jeff mentioned earlier, Web3 is special and unique in its own way because it's not the games or gaming influencers that are putting the game out there for the players, for the communities. It's us, the game developers, companies coming together, sitting down, and then discussing how how we are gonna have more development or in our games, have much more fun given to the user base, to the community. So in this sense, the gaming influencers still play a big role, but in Web3 in the next 5 years, if you say, I think I don't want to turn them into businessmen. you know, professionally, I like them, seeing them as entertainment while I'm getting my food. Let's say, for example, if I'm watching a PewDiePie from 2014, that would make my days much happier. But I don't want him. For example, I don't want him to go all professional and talk about the other aspects, the financial aspects of a particular game. Yes, that is good. I would want a nerdy session on, hey, the calculation of my earning in a specific Web3 game is a lot good if I play a specific tactic, blah, 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 which is good. But then on a much fun side of the game, I just sit down, relax, and have entertaining content. So next 5 years would be crazy changing.
Jay, you
All
were
right.
going to go next too?
Yeah. So I am also a avid gamer and also watch a lot of streams and a lot of YouTube videos. And first of all, in the microscopic way, I think it would be interesting to see some of the streaming platform inside the blockchain area, where a lot of streamers are right now work based on the donations of the viewers and also some of the revenues from the platform. But in the Web3 space, in the blockchain, there can be much more fluent and transparent transactions between the viewer and the streamers by involving the NFTs or tokens and whatever there is. So I think there's a lot of things that can be expected in this business. And also, in thinking of influencers, I have like two basic ideas about them. One is that I see the influencers as a people who kind of lead the community, who actually have their own community and sometimes really influence the gaming community itself in a certain ways. And as we all said before, Web3 spaces, Web3 gaming is all about community. And so I think it's more than natural to have the influencers coming into this space in some near future to have their influence as a community maker to be involved in this space. And also one other thing is that I often see influencers creating their own contents based off the game. So even if because of they have their own community, they can actually kind of form some kind of maybe something like tournaments or some custom game mods or a lot of different contents. So they actually become some kind of a content creator. And the way I see it is that just like the guild has grown really big during when the play to earn thing was really hot back in a few years ago, I think influencers will grow really big when there's a lot more quality games released in the Web3 spaces, and a lot of influence get involved in those projects. And right now we're seeing a lot of quality games releasing soon. Released and releasing soon, just like we see right here. So I think it'll be very natural to see the influencers coming into this space, and kind of really look forward to how it unfolds. All right. Thank you.
Sweet. Coop, did you want to weigh in on this one? Otherwise, I'll move on to the last question.
Yeah. With the little time we have left, let's pop to the next one.
It's our favorite question. It's about your favorite game. I mean, games have changed all through our lives. I don't think we've heard like answers from our new partners, so I'd like to do the rounds here. What was your favorite game, or maybe the game that made the biggest impact on your life? Probably shaped who you are. Man, I wish I could. Last time I asked our Twitter space whether people had played Left 4 Dead, I just heard emptiness and silence. I'm really
What?
hoping someone, yes,
It's a classic,
someone
man.
here
Come
else
on,
here
dude.
has played Left 4 Dead. So yeah, I mean, I've never
I
mentioned
got
it
one
before, but I
for you.
might
What
do.
about What about Dead Space? Does anybody remember Dead Space?
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm looking
Oh
forward to the
dear.
remake. Huge fan.
Fucking right, let's go. Like, yes, those are the games that really got you on the edge of your seat.
Oh yeah, loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just go quickly. So I've mentioned a couple of different MMOs that I used to play a lot, Korean MMOs that kind of shaped who I am. But Left 4 Dead was also a massive one in growing up. Like getting online with three friends, laughing our heads off when the jockey rides one of them to death, or when one of your mates accidentally or probably on purpose wakes up the witch and gets you all killed.
Yeah.
That just burns in my memory. Yeah, we'll never forget it. Who wants to go next?
Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, I was born in '87, so I got to see all the games coming up growing up. I remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I remember NBA Jam, all the way to playing Galaga, to all the way to playing Duck Hunt. To I can't even name them all, but like ones that stand out to me are ones exactly like what you said: Left 4 Dead, Resident Evil, Doom, Duke Nukem, the original Underground Need for Speed 1 and 2. I mean, I was a junkie on Oregon Trail at one point in time. Like, I mean, it goes all the way back to just. That's why we partner with everybody, because I believe nobody likes playing one game. Like, you always have the time of the day that you want to go kill something. You have the time of the day that you might want to go race. The time of the day that you might want to go conquer something or build something. So things like that. So, like, I've got a whole slew of them. But yeah, like a lot of the games that I used to really play hardcore, a lot of people don't ever shout out, like you said, Left 4 Dead, Dead Space. There's another one I can't think of right off the top of my head. Of course, I was huge into Duke Nukem. I was huge into Doom. I was huge into Omen. I was huge into Diablo, Soul Saver, a lot of games like that as well. So, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint just one game, or hell, even two games. Like, I played the hell out of a lot of racing and a lot of first person shooters and a lot of bloody, gory type of adventure like you would see in Resident Evil or something like that. Most definitely would be my favorites.
I still get the chills thinking about some of the Resident Evil games, man. So, wow, Oregon Trail to Undead Blocks. What a journey. um, Anyone else want to shout out a few of their favorites?
I mean, I pretty much agree with every game he just said. The only other one I'll throw out is I do miss RuneScape LAN parties, like lugging my entire desktop PC to my friend's house down the street and then just sitting in his basement and just binging on RuneScape, which is mostly just a grind fest, but we had fun with it. But yeah, I'm the same way. It's so hard for me to pinpoint one game. If like a game is really memorable to me, it's probably because I was young and it was I had the time and it was more influential. Like for me, like Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on GameCube is one of my favorite games. Says so is Okami on the PS2, but I just really like the story and the art style and all that. But yeah, I mean, I love all the classic Resident Evil. I loved playing on my Nintendo Entertainment System, my Super Nintendo, my N64. Gosh, my PS1. Like I still have like all those systems and I'll break them out and play on them. But yeah, it's hard to pin a specific game down. I think it's just there's certain games that influence you, but I agree. Like I have a different flavor depending on the week. And this year it's been bringing back all my horror game loves with the Callisto Protocol, with the Dead Space remake, with the Resident Evil 4 remake, with it's been great for horror games. I've been loving it. But maybe a year or two ago it was RPGs with, Final Fantasy remake, with the original the renewal of God of War, any Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I mean, the list goes on. So, but I agree. I will play almost. I will be the person out there to tell you I don't think there's such a thing as a bad game. I think everybody just has a different flavor of the type of game they maybe want to play in that day.
It's a really
Yeah,
cool concept.
totally.
Yeah,
Totally
go ahead.
agree on that. Yeah, I totally agree on it's just so hard to pick one game to be the favorite. I was just opened my Steam library to see all the games that I had, and
And all the games you haven't played yet.
yeah, it was a fun. I've usually loved the type of games like the turn-based games or the strategy games. Like the Total War series has been one of the biggest franchise that I've played probably my entire life in the different versions of the series. XCOM 2, the Pyraxis one,
I
is
was gonna
also one
say
of my
XCOM.
favorite. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a new good turn-based game to come out. It's just like, oh. And also, some other type of genres. The game that I really enjoyed was like Monster Hunter series. The world was really amazing. I'm also enjoying the Rise, Sunbreak, and also I love Slay the Spire. It is one of the basically one of the first like roguelike type of game that I played and really loved it. Dig so deep into it and playing it, revisiting it, open and often again. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's about
look at
it.
this. The Web3 game like ecosystem. It's pretty much like being a kid in a candy store when I see some awesome games and the flavor of the day. I really like that concept, Carl, you raised, because yeah, it's absolutely true. Depending on the time of day, I mean, like depending on the month, the year, and even the time of day, there's probably different games you want to play. Um, I just need to find more time in my day. Remember, Jay, you might know this because it's a Korean game, but like Ragnarok Online used to spend my entire teen life playing that or Maple Story. There were I think we had, what was it, Derby Stars and Stellar Fantasy on last time, and they were just like raging on about like Maple Story music. You'll still catch me pulling up Chrono Trigger and like Chrono Cross music on Spotify because I heard SNES and PS1 get called out there. Um, yeah, could go on forever. Any others? Last call outs before we wrap up the space?
Age of Empires 2 LAN Party. Oh my god, man.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah.
game and the LAN parties, each and everything about the game, the building, attacking villagers, destroying buildings, conquering empires, man. That game, I think tops the gamer in me. It's like that game was above everything else.
Age of Empires 2, yeah, definitely defined a
That
whole
was
generation
amazing.
there. I had to get the one that came with the pack of cereal as well. I was just like, wow, you can distribute games via cereal now too.
What? Are you serious? That was in
Yeah,
Australia?
in Australia, yeah, they were giving out Age of Empires 2 in the cereal boxes.
Damn it! I just got it just by buying the CD. I didn't get any free cereal.
Yeah, that's amazing. I remember they did I remember getting the Chex Mix Doom game. It's not Doom, but it's basically copying Doom through a floppy disk in Serial here in America. And I also remember they did an Alien game through a floppy disk. And I remember being like, it's so cool because like used to just seeing the boring like gray floppy disk, and it was like this like neon blue, and I was like, oh, this is sick. I honestly don't even remember the game now, but I just remember like the floppy disk, which is
You're
funny.
telling me that there's games and cereals in America? I feel like my mom just didn't love me enough or something.
I think you had to send in enough box tops or something, so you had to buy probably a lot. You probably had to buy the game's worth of equivalent in cereal, you know?
Cool.
Oh,
I'll just throw out a
God.
couple quick ones. Soldat was an amazing LAN party game.
Oh,
When you
sold
mentioned
that
dragging
LAN at
your
school.
PC, it's yeah. When you drag your PC to a basement, that was me and Soldat for sure. Recently, Factorio and Satisfactory. I don't know why I'm like super addicted to the whole economy. And then and when you were going into the Doom days, Descent was a game back then that just like hit my heart so hard with the joystick. Used to land up with four people, and then right after that, play Doom 2. So yeah, definitely great games out there, man. You guys are all hitting my inner gamer.
I think we've revealed all of our mental ages, just stuck at 12 years old. Thanks for reliving those memories with us all. We are over time. I always love bringing that topic up because it reminds us why we're all here. So I hope to see you all again on the Twitter space. I will just quickly remind myself why we also put this Twitter space together. We are doing a campaign with each of our, well, now I know, game fanatic partners next week. So from, well, what is it? Yeah, in 3 days, the 22nd of January to the 28th of January, each day, there's 7 partners. Um, 5 of them are up on the stage right now. There were some technical issues with the other two, so just couldn't get them on last minute. But yeah, each of them will have a badge for each day of that week, and each of them have put in, at least $1,000 US, some $2,000 US in rewards to the prize pool for anyone who picks up a badge. And all you have to do is go to earnalliance.com to pick up a badge next week. Um, and well, the more badges you pick up, you'll also find it will give you some additional rewards. And we're going to be working with some of these partners on some long-term campaigns as well. So get ready for those. Looking forward to putting on the next Twitter space. Thank you again to all the guests for joining us. I really want to play some Land Soldat or Land RuneScape with some of you. Just, oh, I know it'd be amazing. Thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. Looking forward to everything.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yep. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. It was one of the most amazing show that the Twitter space I've been into. And have a great rest of the day, everyone.
See ya. What up?